Now, listen carefully and answer
Questions 31 to 40.
questions 31 to 40.
I've been looking at ocean
I've been looking at ocean
biodiversity.
biodiversity.
That's the diversity of
That's the diversity
species that
of species
live in the world's oceans.
that live in the world's oceans.
About 20 years ago,
About 20 years ago,
biologists developed the
biologists developed the
idea of what they called
idea of what they call
biodiversity hotspots.
biodiversity hotspots.
These are the areas which have the
These are the areas which have the
greatest mixture of species.
greatest mixture mix, mix mixtures of spices.
So one example is Madagascar.
So one example is Madagascar.
These hotspots are
These hotspots are significant
significant because they allow us to locate
because they allow us to locate
key areas for
key areas
focusing efforts at conservation.
for focusing efforts at conversation.
Biologists can identify hotspots on
Biologists can identify hotspots
land fairly
on land
easily, but
fairly easily,
until recently, very
but until recently,
little was known about species
very little was known about species
distribution,
distribution
diversity in the oceans,
and diversity in the oceans,
and no one even knew if
and no one even knew
hotspots existed there.
if hotspots existed there.
Then a Canadian biologist called Bob
Then a Canadian biologist called Boris
Morris Worm did some research
Worm did some research
in 2005 on
in 2005 on
data on species
data on ocean species
that he got from the fishing industry.
that he got from the fishing industry.
Worm located 5 hotspots
Worm located 5 hotspots
for large ocean predators,
for large ocean predators
sharks, and
like
looked
sharks
at what they had in common.
and look at what they had in common.
The main thing he expected to find was that
The the main thing he expected to find was
they had very high
that they had very high concentration, concentrations
concentrations.
of food,
But to his surprise, that was only
but to his surprise, that was only
true for 4
true for 4 of the
spots.
hotspots.
The remaining spot was
The remaining hotspot
quite badly off in Africa.
was quite badly off in that regard.
But what he did find was that
But what he did find was
in all cases,
that in all cases,
water at the surface of the
the water at the surface of
ocean had
the ocean had relatively
relatively high temperatures,
high temperatures,
even when it was cool at great
even when it was cool at
depths.
at greater depth.
So this seemed to be a factor
So this seemed to be a factor
in supporting a diverse range
in supporting a diverse range
of these large predators.
of these large predators.
However, this wasn't enough on its own
However, this was enough on its
because he also
own because he also
that the water needed to
found that the water needed
have enough oxygen in it.
to have enough oxygen in it.
So these two factors seemed necessary
So these two factors seem necessary
to support the high metabolic rate
to support the high metabolic rate
of these large fish.
of this large fish.
A couple of years later, in
A couple of years later, in
2007, a
2007,
researcher called Lisa Balance, who
researchers called Lisa Balance,
was working in California,
who was working in California,
also started looking for ocean
also started looking for ocean
spots,
hotspots,
but not for fish.
but not for fish.
What she was interested in was
What she was interested in was
marine mammals,
marine mammals,
things like seals.
things like seals,
And she found three places in the ocean
and she found three places
which were hotspots.
in the oceans which were hot spots.
And what these had in common
And what these had in common
was that these hotspots were all
was that these hotspots
located at boundaries between
were all located at boundaries
in ocean currents.
between ocean currents,
And this seems to be the sort of place that has
and this seems to be the sort of place that
lots of the plankton that
has lots of the plankton
some of these species
that some of these species
feed on.
feed on.
So now people who want to protect the species
So now people who want to protect the species
that are endangered need
that are endangered need
to get as much information.
to get as much information as possible.
For example, there's an international project
For example, there's an international project,
called the Census of Marine
the Census of Marine
Life. They've been
Life.
surveying oceans all over the world,
There have been surveying oceans all over the world,
including the Arctic.
including the Arctic. Arctic.
One thing they found there, which
What one thing they found there, which
stunned other researchers,
uh, they found they found there, which stunned other researchers,
was that there were large numbers of
was that there were large numbers
species which live below the
of species which live below
ice,
the ice,
sometimes
sometimes under a layer up
20 meters thick.
to 20 meters thick.
Some of these species had
Some of these species had
never been seen before.
never seen before, never been seen before.
They've even found species of octopus
They've even found species of octopus
living in these conditions.
living in these conditions,
And other scientists were
and other scientists
working on the same project,
working on the same project,
but researching very different
but researching very different habitats
habitats on the ocean floor. Found large
on the ocean floor have found
Large numbers of species congregating
large numbers of species
around
congregating around
volcanoes,
volcanoes,
attracted to them by
attracted to them
the warmth, nutrients there.
by the warmth and nutrients there.
However, biologists still don't know how serious the threat to their
However, biologists still don't know how serious the threat
survival is for
to their survival is
each individual species.
for each individual species.
So a body called the Global
So, a body called the
Marine Species Assessment
the Global Marine Species Assessment
is now creating a list of endangered species on
is now creating a list of endangered species
land.
on land.
So they consider things like
So they consider things like
the size of the population,
the size of the population,
how many members of one species there
how many members of one species there
are in a particular place,
are in a particular place,
and then they look at
and then they look at
distribution in
their distribution
geographical terms,
in geographical terms.
though this is quite difficult
Although this is quite difficult
when you're looking at fish
when you're looking at fish
because they're so mobile.
because they're so mobile.
And then thirdly, they calculate the
And then thirdly, they calculate
rate at which the decline
the rate at which the decline
of the species is happening.
of the species is happening.
So far, only 1,500 species have
So far, only 1,500 species
been assessed.
have been assessed,
They want to increase this figure
but they want to increase this
to 20,000.
to 20,000.
For each one they assess,
For each one they assess,
they use the data they collect
they use the data they collect
on that species
on
to
that
produce
species to
showing its
produce
distribution.
a map showing its distribution.
Ultimately, they will be able to use these to figure out
Ultimately, they will be able to use this to figure out
not only where most species are
not only where most species
located, but also where they are most threatened.
are located, but also where they are most threatened.
Finally, what can be done to retain
So finally, what can be done
the diversity
to retain the diversity
of species in the world and
of species in the world's
oceans?
oceans?
Firstly, we need to set up
Firstly, we need to set up
more reserves in
more reserves
oceans,
in our oceans,
places where marine
places where marine
species are protected.
species are protected.
We have some, but not enough.
We have some, but not enough.
In addition,
In addition,
preserve species such
to
as
preserve species such as leatherback turtles which live out
the high seas, but have their
in the
nesting
high
sites
seas, but have their nesting sites in the American coast.
we need to create corridors for migration
We need to create corridors for migration,
so they can get one area
so they can get from one area
to another safely.
to another safely.
As well as this, action needs to be taken
As well as this action needs to be taken
to lower the levels of fishing
to lower the levels of fishing
quotas to prevent
quotas
overfishing of
to prevent overfishing of
endangered species.
endangered species.
And finally, there's the problem of bycatch.
And finally, there's the problem of bycatch.
This refers to the catching of
This refers to the catching of unwanted
unwanted fish by fishing boats.
fish by fishing boats.
They return to the sea,
They return to the sea,
but they're often dead or
but they are often dead
dying.
or
If
dying.
these commercial fishing boats
If these commercial fishing boats
used equipment which was more
use equipment which was more
selective so that only
selective,
the fish wanted for
so
consumption
so that only the fish wanted for consumption
were caught, this problem
were though this problem
could be overcome.
could be overcome.
Okay, so